welcome back to another video on the rest of the day and to another edition of Raw out of 10. Now I know Raw isn't kind of the focus of the IWC today with everything that went down last night. We're not going to cover it in this video, but we have just uploaded, before this comes out, a video unpacking the whole situation. So yeah, that's where we discuss it, so we're not going to mention it all here. But anyway, let's get straight into Raw, which kicked off with Omos and MVP. And last we introduced the Nigerian giant before saying that he was the future of WWE. MVP added that Omos would humiliate Lashley tonight in a cage match and then the Almighty era all for once. Lashley made his entrance when Cedric Alexander attacked him on the ramp. That little slut again. He fought him off, but then Omos joined him before a group of referees had to step in before he headed for a break. But anyway, the match did begin. Omos had the early advantage and dropped Lashley before kicking him into the steel cage wall. Lashley tried to choke him out from behind before Omos sent him back down with a huge shot to the chest. MVP then jabbed Lashley a few times through the cage with his cane as well as the match went on. Lashley then reached the cage and caught MVP but managed to escape. Omos took a spear for a near fall before getting the hurt lock before the Nigerian giant broke out of it. Lashley was caught on the top rope and managed to kick Omos down, but surprise surprise, Cedric Alexander climbed out the cage wall from the outside and landed in the ring after stopping Lashley from escaping. Omos then caught Bobby Lashley off a dive and tossed him into the cage wall as the match went on. Omos picked up Lashley once more and sent him right through the cage and outside the ring. The Almighty stepped off and collapsed the section of the cage and stopped on the floor, effectively winning the match via technicality. And yeah, I think we kind of all saw this was coming, still interference, but you know, still a cage match, no definitive winner. So yeah, it's kind of expected. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, we think we all knew what was happening. 6 out of 10. Theory was up next to face Mr. Ali, but said he needed a referee he could trust, calling out The Miz to call the match. Just before the match kicked off, Theory left the ring and said that Ali would not be facing him, but Vuna Mayhem to prove he was worthy of challenging for the US title. Mustafa Ali came out of the gate with 2 drop kicks, but Veer hit a body press and took him down. Ali was being tossed around the ring and took a splash before Mahan lifting him up, but Mustafa slipped out of his grasp and hit some big kicks. Mahan was then sent outside before taking a few drop kicks, but The Miz blocked Ali's drive. Mustafa Ali and the A-list got into a fight, and the latter hit Ali before Veer came in and hit a big move and locked in the cervical clutch for the victory. And yeah, it's kind of like what we saw last week. After the match, Theory took selfies of Ali in the cervical clutch before sending Mahan to clearly announce this. The Mysterious came back and attacked Theory. The Miz and Veer taking him out before Raw continued. And yeah, good to see Veer's got a storyline, but like I was saying, it's kind of what we've seen before. At least Mysterio's back in the frame now. But you know, it all just feels quite samey, and with the topics of Sasha and Naomi, they haven't exactly treated Mustafa brilliantly since he came back, I would probably argue. We then learned that Becky Lynch will face Asuka in the main event to determine who will challenge Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. Maybe a rewrite there before we got Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. Riddle had the early advantage, but a distraction from Jay allowed Jimmy to take control. Riddle was sent outside for a big dive before Jimmy sent him into the ring steps outside. Back from a break, Jimmy had Riddle in the hole before the latter came back with a Pele kick and a Broton. Jimmy went for the frog splash, but the original Bro got it up and wiped his knees out. Riddle tried for the finisher but from the ropes, but Jay pushed him off and was trying to help Jimmy get the pin. Jay Uso was then sent backstage after the referee caught him, and Riddle managed to roll Jimmy up for the victory. And Jay gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Wasn't a bad match at all, probably the right result for me as well. Yeah, the momentum keeps building, and I'm looking forward to the unification match if it happens this time. Liv Morgan was then backstage and said that she will make Rhea pay for the Los Lotharios came to comfort her. AJ Styles and Finn Balor walked in and sent the Lotharios off before asking Morgan to join them against the Judgment Day. Morgan said she would think about it before Raw continues. This is all leading to a big tag team match. The Judgment Day were out next and said that anyone who opposes them will face punishment. Edge asked those who were tired of the status quo to join them in their destruction of the system. The Rated R Superstar said that anyone, including AJ Styles, were invited to join them. We then saw Styles and Balor versus Los Lotharios. Liv Morgan was at ringside with Balor and Styles, with the latter kicking off the match against Humberto. Balor was tagged in early on and took control of the match, isolating Humberto. Styles was back in and the Lotharios were sent outside before he and Balor wiped them out with dives. Back after a break, Balor was dominating the ring before Angel nearly got him with a wing clipper. Balor dropkicked Humberto in the corner, and Styles took out Humberto with a phenomenal forearm before Balor got the pin. And yeah, like I said, it's 6 out of 10. Okay, I think it's all leading up to something bigger, so not really surprised. But yeah, get 6 out of 10 from me. Alpha Academy then got Ezekiel's DNA test results for Kevin Owens, but it turned out that the samples were contaminated with barbecue sauce. Kevin Owens was furious, and Chad Gable said that he will beat the truth out of him tonight before exposing him next week. silly bollocks, I love to say it. Before Alexa Bliss versus Sonya Deville was up next. Bliss took Deville down right away, but Deville came back and got a near fall before smashing Bliss's face into the mat. Little Miss Bliss then kicked out of another cover attempt before being caught in a headlock. Deville was taunting Bliss, who came back with a jawbreaker but went down again for another near fall. Sonya took out the cover on the turnbuckle, but the referee caught her and put it back on. Deville got a spine buster and would have gotten a pin if the referee wasn't busy with the turnstiles, but Bliss came back with DDT and picked up the win off the distraction. After the match, Deville was bad, slapping the referee before walking off. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of the same thing that we saw last week, just a bit more competitive, and Sonya's probably going to get suspended now, but it's all part of the ongoing storylines. Didn't hate it at all, really. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Rudy was out next on Raw and said that Seth Rollins was his own worst enemy. Rhodes challenged Rollins to another match inside Hell in a Cell to win their rivalry for good. Rollins showed up on the Titantron and said that he was making the biggest mistake Rhodes has made in his life before accepting the challenge. And I'm actually into this feud, so happy we're going to see it for one final time, as long as that's it, though. Before we got Chad Gable versus Ezekiel. Gable got some big takedowns, but Ezekiel came back with some big strikes. Gable managed to reverse a big move, but was caught in a headlock. Gable went for the finisher, but was caught in a submission move before he escaped the hold, but took some big hits in the ring before Otis wiped out Ezekiel at ringside. Back after a break, Gable was in control and got a German suplex after a near fall. Gable then went up to the top, but missed a dive before Ezekiel got a spine buster for a near fall off his own. Chad Gable tried for a dive once more, but Ezekiel met him with a knee strike. Gable finally got the moonsault before Ezekiel reversed the roll up and picked up a victory. And Jack, that's a 6 out of 10 from me. I mean, like, it's a decent enough match. Still feeds into the ongoing storyline. And yeah, I mean, like, I kind of like it, so I'll go with 6 out of 10. R-Truth and Tamina were backstage, and they finally served Akira Tozawa the Zor's papers. Truth ran into Dana Brooke and wanted the 24/7 title from her before she ran away. Before Brooke bumped into Carmella in the 2 South future match, the latter told Truth that she will get help the 24/7 title, but only if he helped her beat Dana Brooke after that. Before Lacey Evans was out next and called on the crowd to stand out and respect in the armed forces. Evans said that she was happy to be on Raw and wanted to show everyone that Circle could be broken. Yeah, I'm so confused what's going on with that character at the moment. I think I'll just wait a few weeks until I comment. Before we got Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Asuka was sent outside early on, but she set Becky Lynch up on the apron and hit her with a knee to head. Lynch sent Asuka into the barricades before he headed for a break. Back to the match, Asuka was getting some big moves in and got a near fall off a sliding knee in the ring. Lynch dodged the high hip attack before getting a leg drop on the ropes for a near fall. The Empress Samoa got the Asuka lock off the counter before Lynch reversed it into a roll up. Asuka then got the armbar, but Big Time Bex managed to get out of it. Lynch went outside to taunt Belair before Asuka attacked her from behind. Becky Lynch then sent Asuka into Belair before tossing her into the ring. Belair tried to get in the ring, but used the referee to get in her way. Lynch used the distraction to get Asuka's umbrella to attack the Empress Samoa with her, but the Japanese style got the green mist and picked up the victory. And overall, I pretty much enjoyed this. It gets a 7 out of 10 for me, probably the right result. But yeah, good match. I mean, it obviously felt rushed for obvious reasons, but on the whole, for a TV match, it was really fun. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the match in the pay-per-view. Overall, this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I don't think we can't pretend that it wasn't massively, had a shadow over it because of everything that went on backstage. But, for what Raw it was, I thought it was a pretty decent episode this week. Lots going on. Some bits are pretty enjoyable. So, yeah, I thought it was a decent episode of Raw this week without all the other stuff going on. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below for the description for daily wrestling news. And subscribe to my channel and screen below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.